Welcome to the Sacred Feminine Power podcast, where we explore the many facets of feminine power and why it is so important for women and for men to step into this power in our world at this time. This is Emmy from Feminine Revered, and my magical guest for today is Kat George. After over a decade as a respected science teacher, teaching at elite private schools around Australia, Kat's soul yearned for a greater purpose and fulfillment. Heeding this call, Kat courageously shed her previous identity and reframed her relationships, embracing the transformative journey ahead, despite her fears of judgment and rejection. Through diligent inner work, stripping away conditioned masks, reframing limiting beliefs, and alchemizing past traumas, Kat emerged as a radiant force. Her path illuminated the infinite power of self love, intuition, and service as sacred medicine. Now certified in Reiki, tapping, hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy, vibrational energy medicine, and coaching. She's also a mystical high priestess initiated into the Temple of Maryam through her studies with the Institute of Intuitive Intelligence and a practitioner in the Intuitive Intelligence method. Kat dedicates herself to empowering others to embody their sovereignty. How beautiful and powerful, Kat. Thank you for being on the show and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Emmy. I'm looking forward to this chat.
Me too. Me too. It's a blessing to have you with us. And since my podcast is called Sacred Feminine Power, I love to start by asking my guests, what does sacred feminine power mean to you personally?
Personally, sacred feminine power means that you understand that you are unlimited God consciousness, that we are emanations of God, and that we are unlimited consciousness in a quantum universe. And what that means is that you have the courage and the bravery to sit in the discomfort of your pain, of your trauma, and to alchemize it. And from there, the gift begins. Like when you are able to sit in your, can I swear? Am I allowed to say the word shit?
Yeah, you're welcome
You know,
to.
when you sit in your shit and in the discomfort and the pain, then and you find out the root cause and you do the parts work, you do the timeline therapy, you nourish that inner child that didn't have what it needed. Um, the other side of it is bliss. You know, from fear to love. When you move from fear to love, you move to love, and you are in a state of grace. And when you feel that, um, you're in the sacred feminine power because you can hold everyone and everything and with love and compassion and kindness and respect, and you see the world as God sees everything, you know, from that highest perspective. Even though you've faced adversity, you still have that love for humanity.
Mm, beautiful. I love how you express that and resonating very strongly with every word that you shared there as well. That's beautiful. And it sounds like it's also coming from a deep place of experience, personal experience of really having gone through some of that shit that you talked about and then coming to the other side as well. And my next question actually is if you'd be comfortable sharing about a challenge that you've gone through that's really helped you to activate the sacred feminine power within you.
Thank you, Amy. I will. I have come up with a specific example, and although unfortunately I have experienced a lot of abuse and trauma, mental, physical, emotional, verbal, psychological abuse from multiple people in my life. The first one that comes to mind is the first person that did harm me, which was my yaya. And I realized that. So what happened was I was doing a couple of months ago even, I was finding that I was being really triggered, and I had to find time and space to sit there and figure out like why I was being triggered at this point in time about a certain topic. And I went into meditation and I asked, what is the root cause? Where is this coming from? And it was revealed to me that I had this program in me, hardwired in my brain. It had been there for 38 years, and I was so lucky and so glad to find it. It said to me that I deserved abuse because I was unworthy of love.
Mm.
And I wanted to know, where did this initially come from? When was this first, when was this program first entered into my, hardwired into my brain? And I realized that it came from when I was 2. And I sort of like had a flashback of the first incident of when she abused me, and she was hurting me with a belt, and she was telling me that I deserved this and that I was so naughty and that I was to be ashamed of my actions and my choices. And yeah, that I didn't deserve, that I deserved this, that I deserved this abuse. And from there, I was like, how old was I? And I was 2. And so I had to do some parts work, and I had to um, validate the feelings of that little girl and tell her that she was perfect and that she didn't do anything wrong, and you know that it wasn't her fault. And I showered her with golden light, and then I was able to integrate her into her light form. But then from there, I needed to speak to the higher self of my grandma, of my yaya. And it was revealed to me in that meditation, in that healing, self-healing session, that our the contract that we had between each other was that she was to teach me resilience. And so I said, well, that was a messed up way to teach me resilience. And she said, the people that were contracted to teach her resilience had done so through violence. And so she was doing what she knew. And being a coach, I understand that, we can live in resourceful ways and unresourceful ways, and that we can meet our core needs in resourceful ways or unresourceful ways. And we are always doing the best that we can with the knowledge that we have in the time that we are in. And so in that moment, I understood that my grandma, she was fulfilling her contract with me, which was resilience. But the only way that she knew how was through violence. And so she was doing what she was meant to, the only way that she knew how. And so there was a choice point for me there. Do I continue to sit and be a victim? Do I sit there and see myself as a victim and give my power away and think, oh, this all happened to me and it's so messed up, and I could sit there and wallow in the grief and the pity, or do I transmute this? Do I say to her higher self, I forgive you, and I'm so thankful for all the lessons that I have learned from there, because, I realized that she was the first person that harmed me, and she put me on the trajectory of more harm, to experience more harm and abuse from various other people. But sorry, there was a point there. More harm and abuse. But also, like, even though she put me on that path, there was so much more that I had to learn. And the fact that she was the first one and she was teaching me the resilience, it meant that I could handle it as I kept going, if that makes sense.
Mm.
And so her higher self apologized to me. And I forgave her, and I said, I love you and I forgive you regardless. And she passed away. Like last week, we had a funeral, and she passed
Mm.
away 2 weeks ago. And I went on a spiritual retreat for myself. But before I went, I got the message that she was going to go while I was away. And she wouldn't go until I said goodbye to her. So I
Mm.
went to the nursing home, and I had that physical conversation with her. Even though I'd had it with her higher self, I had that with her. And I told her, I love you and I forgive you, and I thank you for all the lessons. Like I knew she needed to hear it. And I told her, go with peace, go with ease, go with grace, go to the light. That's super important. And next time, choose a life of bliss because it's your birthright. Do not choose to come back and suffer. Like, come back and choose a life of bliss and joy because it is your birthright, it is your entitlement. And I said to her, um, just thank you and I love you. And I know like even though like she had dementia, so her reasoning conscious mind like had no idea, but I know that her subconscious mind did. And I did an energetic clearing on her. I put Reiki into her. I put her into a bubble of diamond light of protection. I prayed to Anubis and I asked him to help her with her transition. So while I was away, when my mum called me and she was saying, oh, grandma passed away, she said she went away in her sleep. So she went with ease and grace and peacefully. And she said when she saw her body, she was sparkling. So I knew
Mm.
that that was the diamond light. So I feel like for me to be able to do that for grandma was such a gift for her and such a gift for me because it showed me that I can hold her with love and compassion and that I truly have forgiven her because forgiveness isn't for the other person, forgiveness is for yourself,
Mm.
and so that was a really powerful moment for me.
Mm. A powerful moment for your grandma as well, and
Yeah,
a powerful moment for our listeners. I think you've just provided a whole lot of medicine for everyone who's listening to this episode. And thank you for your beauty and your courage. It's not easy to do that. And you've probably healed more than one generation by doing that. So thank you.
thank you. I feel
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Blessed be. Yeah. Well, you've already shared quite a bit of what the hidden blessing of this challenge that you went through was for you and what an incredible journey it took you on. Is there any other blessing that you would like to share with us that you feel that has come through that challenging experience?
For sure. So, along with all the other experiences that I've had in terms of like the abuse, the trauma, um, that led me to my awakening. And so, I know that, being a science, chemistry, biology teacher, I know that like humans are hardwired. We have a negativity bias and we are hardwired to always look out for the potential risk because, our ancestors were, surveying the land constantly for their safety. And the ones that could see the predator hiding in the bushes were the ones that survived and passed on that gene, on those genes. So, we have a negativity bias, and it seems like, our souls want to wake up. That is like part of the purpose of, why we're here. We forget and then we need to remember. And in that remembrance, unfortunately, it feels like, at this day and age, more of us are waking up through tragic and traumatic circumstances. And it is because of that negativity bias that we have, but also it's because of where we are at as a collective. If we think about the Hermetic law, as above, so below, as within, so without, we have to transmute what's in here in order to change the reality of the world. So that, like the future generations don't have to wake up in such a horrible, traumatic, tragic way. And but our souls are always creating the conditions for us to wake up. And the things that really get your attention is the negative, traumatic stuff. And so, I've heard this beautiful lady, Rose Metcalf, talk about, you get hit by the spiritual 2x4, and that's what causes you to wake up. And I was like, yep, that was my experience. So for me to wake up, I had experienced all that tragedy and I was looking for something outside of myself to save me. I was looking for God to save me. And by learning all the modalities that I did, and in the process of learning, I was able to like heal and move mountains in terms of like what I have moved, what I've transmuted, what I've alchemized. Um, I was able to see what my purpose is and know that, I've got a very clear message that I'm here to help the collective heal from patriarchal wounds, and that I'm here to help other people get in touch with their own divinity. And so that is what I do. That is what I help people with. So that's how Empowered Alchemy by Kat George was created. Um, so yeah, so doing all this, my true purpose has been revealed to me. So that is the most beautiful gift.
That is indeed a beautiful gift. Yeah, what a blessing. Yeah. And then to be able to use that gift to bring healing to so many others. It's really beautiful. Yeah. And I know it
Thank
takes a lot
you.
of courage as well to step onto that path. It's not always the easiest of paths to walk, but it is also the most rewarding when you choose to go on it. So, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Hmm. Wonderful. Well, you have shared a lot of golden nuggets of wisdom with us in a very short amount of time. And there's a number of portals that we could dive deeper into as well in terms of the themes that you've raised. But I know that you also have a very, very exciting summit coming up, an event, online event. And I would love for you to speak more to that. Why did you decide to put this together and what is it all about?
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much for giving me space to discuss this, Emmy. I really appreciate it. Um, so the Awakening Summit is basically a beautiful collection of people that have helped me along my journey of awakening from the very beginning. And your work, where I listened to an activation where I was connecting with the wisdom of my womb was incredibly powerful because she had so much to share, and it was so incredibly healing for me to hear what she said to me. And it helped a lot to transmute a lot of the trauma that I had already, like I had experienced as well. And so the Awakening Summit is a collection of beautiful people who have helped me personally. And I thought it would be wonderful to have everybody in that same space because everyone has had such a profound effect on me that it would be wonderful to have everybody in that same space. Like, can you imagine the magic that everyone will bring to help everybody else on their awakening journey? So I realized that awakening is like in stages. Like it depends on like, you're at the beginning, but you do some healing and then you keep going. And it's just like a new level of consciousness that you hold. So therefore you're at a different level of awakening and you just keep going and going and going. And I created this summit because no matter where you're at in your awakening phase, there is so much medicine and so much profound shifts that you can get from all these people that are here speaking to us on the Awakening Summit. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you're gathering people who've played a role in your journey as well. That makes it even more powerful, I find, because it's more personal. And you have this connection in one way or another to the speakers. That's really, really beautiful. When is the summit? When do you start?
So the summit is on the 2nd of December and it will go for that week. Um, Yeah, and everything is online and it's all for free. And there will be so many beautiful gifts available from all our wonderful speakers, and there will be so many beautiful activations and meditations and just amazing wisdom that will be shared. So, like. one of my teachers is speaking and she's talking about heart congruence, and she's sharing that beautiful practice that helps you get hotter and younger every time. That's just like an added benefit of it. We have Danielle from Pacha Vega, who is a raw chef, and she is a holistic coach. She talks about, the quality of the food and how it has an impact on your vibration, and her principle of living with no harm to others, and how she uses it to make every decision in her life, and how it's a ripple effect from everything. And then we've got you and your beautiful wisdom to share about activating your womb. And what else were you saying? How we're disconnected from the power and the wisdom of our womb, and how to reconnect with the power and the wisdom of our womb. So I'm so excited for that. That is so potent and juicy for our viewers. And then we have Elizabeth Bercovici. She brings in the mythical and the Holy Grail and Eden and all the fairies and and Isis, the gods and the goddesses. So she's bringing that adventure and that play, which I love. And then we just have so many people who are from so many different like walks of life, and bring, their codes to speak to unlock something in you. You know, it's
Beautiful.
just such a beautiful, the way it's unfolding, it's just so beautiful.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, sounds like a very, very potent gathering. Thank you so much for calling that together. And I know how much work it takes to run and host a summit with all the interviews, all the preparations. So kudos to you for taking on this gathering. And I know it's going to again provide so much medicine for so many people all around the world. And yeah, we'll of course include the registration link for this summit in the show notes. And any other information, Kat, that you would like to share about the summit in advance, we'll include that there as well. And of course, before we wrap up here, I would love to hear from you. If our listeners want to connect with you, perhaps even work with you, what is the best place for them to go to?
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me space for that too. Um, so I have a website I'm just designing, and it is called Empowered Alchemy by catgeorge.com. So you can go on there. There's appointment links that you can click to work with me one-on-one. But also, if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, it's Empowered Alchemy Cat George. You can follow me on there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's great. And I understand that you had a gift for our audience as well.
Yeah, so the gift that I have is it's called the it's called well, consciousness encoding practice. That's right. It's a manifestation practice. So it's a really beautiful meditation that is on Insight Timer, and it's free. And what it is it's about you cultivating a feeling state that you want more of in your life. And then you are consciously encoding a symbol that your subconscious mind shows you with that feeling state. So if you find yourself during the day that you're feeling, you have, you know, dysregulated, or you're feeling like unmotivated or whatever it is, you can bring this symbol to mind, and that it's like an anchor in NLP. It will instantly bring that feeling state that you've encoded it with, all through your body. And so you just have to picture that symbol, and then the feeling state comes, and then you can feel the abundance, you can feel the joy, you can feel the bliss, the wonder, the expansion, whatever it is that that you want to feel more of. And then you've got it forever, and you just keep using it as your anchor to help you during your day.
Oh, how
So that's what
beautiful.
I'm about, practical tools that you can use during your day that are simple and easy. And yeah, it's a beautiful meditation. Yeah.
Sounds like it. Thank you so much for sharing that with our audience. And I can't wait to listen to it myself. I love that idea of the symbol that you can use to really bring back that emotion, that feeling state, no matter what is going on in your life or around you. That's really beautiful. Great. Well, Kat, is there anything else that's coming through right now that you're feeling called to share with us before we wrap up?
Just to be brave. I know, like the healing journey, all of that feels like it could be scary. But when you have professionals and you have people like you and me that hold you with unconditional love and see you as God sees you and are the divine conduits for the mother to work through, um, we've got you. Like we do our energetic integrity. We look after ourselves so that we can hold you and so that you can feel safe enough to release your shit, the technical term. And you know, be brave if you feel like you don't understand like why you're feeling miserable or why you're feeling a certain way and you want to understand the root cause. You don't even need to understand the root cause. You just want to release it and let it go and have a better quality of life. We are here to support you. That's our job. And be brave enough to call upon us, right?
Mm,
Yeah.
beautiful. Here, here. Thank you so much, Kat, for sharing that message and sharing all that you've shared with us today. Such a beautiful, powerful message of healing and alchemy. So very needed, especially in these times of change and transition that we are in as humanity right now. And really appreciate all that you do and all that you are. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Emmy.
Blessed be. Yeah. Well, everybody, just for a moment, let's focus our awareness and our intention on this beautiful, inspiring energy that's been activated. And imagine sending this energy to everyone and everything on our planet to remember that we are all truly one, and that the more of us have the courage to step into our power and to do that inner healing work that Kat has been talking about, the more quickly our planet will also heal and ascend. Thank you so much for listening. Blessed be.